Well, we're here at the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, and this is great because it's the second year that there's actually food as well as the flowers. So can you tell us, last year obviously was successful to bring this, and it seems like even an expanded version. So what was really behind bringing it back, and how did you decide what to, kind of how to enhance it and plan what you did last year to make it even better?
Yeah, so last year was our first year, like I mentioned, and the first year is always kind of like a trial and error. You want to kind of figure things out because the clientele is a little different if you compare flower and garden to food and wine. But I think we hit certain things on the nail with like the barbecue marketplace, the smokehouse, or Florida Fresh. Those are really marketplaces that tie in very well with the outside living and the outdoor living feel. So we kind of kept those items as a base, and then we kind of build on them. So this year, brand new with the Urban Farm Eats. It's a great time for the festival as well. And Chef Mike Deardorff, he came up with a great dish, the eggplant scallop. We can talk a little bit about that. It's just a great tie-in about produce and grow your own produce and then cook it and showcase on a beautiful plate. So it feels good. This year it feels right. I think we learned from last year, especially with our beverage offerings. That was part of the learning. So last year we were very vegetable driven and fruit driven on the beverage. So this year we kind of said, okay, the food has to be tasty, but the beverage has to be great as well. So we have some regular beers and good wines, upscale wines as well, in combination with some of these fruit driven beverages. So these were kind of the key learnings. And just really excited this year to have Urban Farm Eats, which is a cool new marketplace, and Buttercup Cottage is another nice marketplace. It was a cottage last year, but we changed 2-3 items off in there. So and to start, it's 3 days in the festival, and it has been doing well this far. It seems like the menu items have leveled a little bit more, so they're all doing pretty well. It's not only barbecue, the others do not so good. So we're happy this far.
Well, with the Urban Farm Eats, that little kiosk, we've actually came back to the land pavilion, so it's a direct tie-in to what we actually produce at the land. We'll actually see all of those products that are served in the 3 dishes on the tour, in the greenhouses, and the attraction itself. The eggplant scallop came about with, we take a Japanese eggplant, cut it to a scallop size, and seafood, diver scallop size. Pan-sear it, salt, pepper, paprika, served it with steamed spaghetti squash, and then a Spanish romesco sauce, which is one of the really neat things of that kiosk is we have a display right next to it of aquaculture, which is something that the land is actually working on, and also our partners that sponsor that kiosk. But it's kind of a complete closed system where you'll see a tank full of tilapia, which we're serving in the kiosk, and the water is pumped out of there, filtered through, up, and it takes it up to the plants. The plants in turn filter the water as it comes back down and back into the tank. So it's a completely enclosed freshwater system because, as you know, there's 2 types of tilapia, freshwater and also saltwater. So it's really, really educational, and the food is, this dish in and of itself is completely vegan, but it eats really well.
That sounds great, and you've got some unusual things too. I haven't tried the Piggylicious cupcake yet, but I'm looking forward to that. So what made you kind of go out on a limb a little bit with some things that might surprise people?
Yeah, I think last year we had fun, and I think if you see it for food and wine too, we like to have a little bit of fun with our food too, because food is really, it has to be something that comes from your heart. You got to be passionate around it, but you can't be too serious about it. I mean, yes, there's 3-star Michelin restaurant where you want to be super serious and super uptight, but I think in a theme park setting with a festival, we can have a little bit of fun. So actually, Piggylicious came about. We had the pulled pig slider last year, and it's actually back this year as well. Richard Bell, people thought, oh, he's going crazy, he's calling it pulled pig, But I said, let's have fun with it. And my saying last year was, people ask me, how's barbecue? And I said, it's Piggylicious. So it was kind of my internal word of saying it's awesome, it's delicious. I said, it's Piggylicious. So now this word became mainstream, and we call it the cupcake after this. And the cupcake actually has some really delicious bacon. It's Newski's bacon from Wisconsin, and it's really a super double smoked bacon, very high end, and it has that Piggylicious umami flavor. So why don't you call it cupcake?
An interesting dish like that. The general public now is a little more adventurous because they're inundated with cooking shows. That just seems to be everything in vogue now. So there are actually a lot of people are actually, they like to take a a chance on different things. They're a little more adventurous eaters than they were, say, 5-10 years ago. So it's kind of fun to throw these new items out. If they work, great. If they don't, oh well, we just try something else. But this has been amazing from day one. Sales have just been flying out of the kiosk.
Yeah, I think if you look at the festival, both food and wine and flower and garden, the cupcake is probably the best-selling desserts from both festivals. We have never had a dessert that does this kind of number. So I think it definitely hit a nerve with that. It's a word, but as well as the dish itself.
Yeah, and then it's a fun place to experiment because people are used to that cupcake, so you can kind of play around with it in different offerings.
Exactly.
And they come to expect that from Disney too. We kind of try to take the next step, try to give them something they've never seen before.
Yes, it's the safe place to experiment, I think, for a lot of people.
And the great thing is in the festival, if you don't like it, you don't spend $30 on a plate, you spend maybe $3 to $6 on a plate. So it makes it worthwhile, If you don't like it, oh well, it's not like you ruined your monthly salary, So it's a good thing, a good safe place. So come out to the festival and enjoy it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.